he would knock Terence Crawford out, or Terence Crawford ducked him, or Terence Crawford ran, and that's why Terence Crawford retired. It pisses me off sometimes. But
Crawford?
I mean, I don't know. He retired, so that's what he doing right now. He in retirement, he chilling. So we'll see.
Like him to come out
if he come out, you know, we'll see.
On the contract. Exactly, sign the contract. If he wanted to fight, he would have stayed at 47. He obviously said he wanted to move up in compass to be undisputed at 54 or something like that.
Just when boxing fans thought Terence Crawford would publicly celebrate Ennis after the biggest win of his career, everything took an unexpected turn. Following Ennis's dominant stoppage of Zayas to claim the unified super welterweight championship, Crawford shifted the entire conversation with a single social media post that nobody saw coming. Instead of posting lengthy congratulations or praising the newly crowned champion, he dropped a cryptic message that instantly had the boxing world asking questions. "I'ma keep my thoughts to myself, but y'all already know." Those few words were all it took to ignite non-stop debate across social media. And trust me, the speculation only got louder from there.
Compare myself, with a lot of great fighters, and I can see the holes in his game, and I can see the openings and the opportunities that I'll have, because A, I feel like I punch harder than Xander. B, I'm way sharper than Xander. C, I'm way faster than Xander. So the shots that Xander was hitting him with, and the shots that Xander couldn't capitalize because his speed wasn't there, I will be able to capitalize. And when I capitalize, everybody know I'm probably one of the best counter punchers there ever was.
As expected, fans, fellow champions, and boxing analysts wasted no time breaking down what Crawford truly meant by that cryptic statement. Many believed he was hinting that despite Jaron "Boots" Ennis delivering a career-defining performance, he still spotted flaws that a seasoned fighter with his ring IQ could exploit if they ever shared the ring. The conversation didn't stop there, because Crawford later expanded on his comments during an interview. He praised Ennis as one of boxing's brightest rising stars, yet confidently explained why he still believes he would be the better man if that dream matchup ever happened. But here's where things became even more interesting. You won't believe this. Crawford also insisted that he has no intention of stepping back into the ring. And that raises the biggest question of all. If he's truly finished with boxing, then why send a message that has everyone wondering what he really meant?
Back down to 154 and face Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight.
Nope. I ain't going down 154.
Was Terence Crawford simply giving his honest assessment as one of boxing's greatest champions? Or is there still a part of him that can't ignore the super fight fans have wanted for years? That's the question everyone is asking, and trust me, the answer may not be as straightforward as it seems. Here's how this entire story unfolded. Before Crawford's comments stole the spotlight, all of the attention was locked on Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Fighting in front of a packed Barclays Center crowd in Brooklyn, Ennis stepped into one of the biggest moments of his career against the undefeated and highly regarded Zayas. The matchup was billed as a clash between two of boxing's brightest young stars, and the excitement surrounding the event couldn't have been higher. Early in the third round, Zayas showed flashes of why so many people believe he's destined for greatness. He landed several clean, sharp shots that briefly looked like they could change the direction of the fight. But that momentum disappeared almost as quickly as it arrived. Ennis made smart adjustments in real time, and from that point forward, the fight belonged to him. His accuracy, blazing hand speed, and elite timing completely shifted the momentum in his favor. He consistently beat Zayas to the punch, controlled the pace from start to finish, and showcased the complete skill set that has many believing he can become a champion across multiple weight classes. As the rounds went on, the gap between the two fighters became impossible to overlook. Ennis sent Zayas to the canvas 3 different times, and with every knockdown, it became more obvious that the fight was slipping further out of Zayas' hands. By the 7th round, the referee had seen enough and officially stepped in to stop the contest.
You even made boots last. No, this is just a fighting machine, man. Oh, and down he goes, the knees down. That's knockdown number 3. That was a smart move by Zayas, taking a knee.
The corner of Zayas is up there, stopping the
And
fight.
that is it. It's a pound for pound beat down for the Boots Ennis.
The 7th round stoppage not only delivered the 32nd knockout victory of Jaron Boots Ennis's professional career, but it also became the biggest statement he has made inside the ring to date. The win crowned Ennis as the unified super welterweight champion at 154 pounds, adding another major accomplishment after previously unifying titles in the welterweight division. More importantly, the victory completely changed the conversation surrounding the entire super welterweight division. Suddenly, the question was no longer whether Ennis belonged among boxing's elite. Instead, fans and experts began asking who, if anyone, had what it takes to beat him. But just when the celebration was reaching its peak, something unexpected shifted the spotlight. As highlights from Ennis's dominant performance flooded social media, many expected boxing's biggest names to congratulate the new champion. Instead, Terence Crawford posted a short, cryptic message that raised far more questions than answers. "I'ma keep my comments to myself, but y'all get it, I hope." It wasn't a direct challenge, a disrespectful jab, or even a clear explanation. Yet because the post appeared moments after the biggest victory of Ennis's career, fans immediately began reading between the lines, and you won't believe how many different theories started circulating.
Like I said, man, of course, everybody know the competitive nature in myself.
Many fans believe Crawford was quietly hinting that he spotted weaknesses in Ennis's performance that most people completely overlooked. Others saw the post as a response to the growing number of supporters claiming Ennis would have beaten him, whether they fought during their primes or even if the matchup happened today. Whatever Crawford truly meant, one thing became clear almost immediately: the boxing world couldn't stop talking about it. Boxing media, podcasts, and social platforms instantly reignited conversations about a dream fight that fans had been demanding for years. Back when both fighters were making waves around the welterweight division, the possibility of them sharing the ring was one of the sport's hottest topics. That showdown never became reality, and Crawford eventually climbed through multiple weight classes before retiring with an undefeated record as a 5-division world champion. But after Ennis delivered the biggest victory of his career, those old debates suddenly felt more alive than ever. The buzz reached another level when Crawford appeared on the Porterway podcast, where he finally pulled back the curtain on what he meant, giving fans his clearest explanation yet, and trust me, it only fueled the conversation even more.
They're sharper, especially in the exchanges, and I think that's what led Xander to get hurt the times that he did get hurt, because he got caught with a shot that he didn't see.
During the interview, Crawford made one thing absolutely clear before anything else: he has nothing but respect for Jaron Boots Ennis. Rather than dismissing Ennis's success, he praised him as an elite talent and acknowledged exactly why so many people now view him as one of the most dangerous champions in boxing. Crawford pointed to Ennis's explosive hand speed, knockout power, athleticism, defensive ability, and natural instincts inside the ring as qualities that separate him from the rest of the division. In his view, Ennis is the kind of fighter capable of giving any opponent serious problems. But after giving Ennis his flowers, Crawford made it clear that he still believes he would win if they ever faced each other. According to Crawford, the biggest difference wouldn't be power or speed, it would be experience. he confidently stated that his ring IQ is 10 steps ahead, explaining that years of competing at the championship level have taught him how to recognize patterns, make adjustments, and exploit mistakes that younger fighters often don't even realize they're making.
I don't worry about coming back to prove anything, because me coming back and proving something to people that it doesn't matter, what never matters. You know, for that being, they would say, oh, well, he only fought Xander, or they'll come up with some type of excuse, you know, but
Crawford specifically pointed.
Crawford even highlighted specific moments from the Xander-Zayas fight where he believes Jaron Boots Ennis left openings that could have been costly. While Zayas managed to land several clean shots, Crawford insisted there were even bigger opportunities that went completely unnoticed and unpunished. According to him, a fighter with his counterpunching ability would have recognized those mistakes instantly and made Ennis pay for every one of them. He went on to describe himself as one of the greatest counterpunchers the sport has ever seen, explaining that his ability to read opponents and adjust in real time has been one of the biggest reasons behind his legendary career. Of course, that's still Crawford's opinion, not a proven fact, because the two men have never actually shared the ring. Until that fight happens, if it ever does, fans can only speculate about who would truly come out on top. Even so, hearing a retired boxing icon confidently explain why he believes he would defeat the hottest rising champion in the sport instantly reignited the debate. But here's where the story took another unexpected turn. After breaking down exactly how he believed the fight would play out, Crawford was asked the question every boxing fan wanted answered: would he come out of retirement for the challenge? His response was direct, leaving almost no room for interpretation.
we retired, you know, it's Boots' era. I pray and hope that, you know, he take it to the extreme. I pray nothing but success for him and his family, you know, and all in all, it's all about.
Crawford made it clear that he has no interest in returning to the ring simply to silence critics or prove anything to anyone. From his point of view, no matter how many accomplishments he adds to his resume, there will always be people looking for a reason to diminish them. He even explained that if he defeated Jaron Boots Ennis, some critics would probably claim Ennis had just come off the Xander-Zayas fight or invent another excuse to downplay the victory. In Crawford's eyes, his legacy has already been cemented and no longer needs anyone's approval or validation. Rather than fueling the debate any further, he shifted the conversation toward respect by giving Ennis sincere praise and expressing his hope that the young champion continues reaching even greater heights. Crawford said this is now Ennis's era, wishing him nothing but success both inside and outside the ring. And that final message surprised a lot of fans, because despite believing he would win the matchup, Crawford made it clear he would rather celebrate Ennis's future than chase one last fight that he feels he no longer needs.
And people want to see, you know, this generation, how would they do with the previous generation? The same way with people comparing me to Floyd. We'll never fight, you know, so I wish him nothing but the best. I want to see him.
Even after announcing his retirement, Terence Crawford has remained a familiar face around the boxing world, regularly attending major events and occasionally sharing his thoughts on the sport's biggest fights. Because he continues to stay involved, many fans still wonder if an enormous payday or the perfect opportunity could eventually tempt him back into the ring, despite his repeated insistence that his fighting days are over. That question refuses to go away, and you won't believe how often it comes up whenever Crawford speaks publicly. While fans continue debating his future, Jaron Boots Ennis appears to be focused on something entirely different. When he was asked about Crawford's comments following the fight, Ennis chose not to fuel the headlines or turn it into a public back and forth. Instead, he made it clear that his full attention is on building his own legacy and taking the next step in his career.
Been tired of hearing about Terence Crawford throughout the build-up to this fight, but he did tweet something that definitely seemed like in relation to this fight, without saying much, but given a tweet right after the fight. Any response to Terence Crawford, who had something to say?
We ain't worried about he retired. We focus on tasking and taking over this division. We ain't worried about retiring.
Ennis made it clear that his focus is on taking over the super welterweight division, not responding to comments from retired champions. His mission is straightforward: collect every major title at 154 pounds and leave no doubt that he is the undisputed king of the division. To accomplish that goal, he'll have to go through the remaining champions and the toughest contenders standing in his way. Potential fights against Sebastian Fundora, Josh Kelly, and the long-discussed showdown with Virgil Ortiz Jr. would not only carry championship significance, but also generate massive interest from boxing fans, making each one a huge milestone in Ennis's journey. Instead of getting caught up in outside storylines, Ennis is keeping his eyes on the belts and proving himself against the best active fighters available. Even so, the Crawford conversation refuses to disappear because although Ennis isn't chasing that fight, influential voices across boxing continued to push the idea, with promoter Eddie Hearn remaining one of the loudest believers that the blockbuster matchup still deserves to happen.
Ennis against Terence Crawford is the fight. And that can be at 54, it can be at 60. Obviously we've got Lima to take care of first, but that for me is one of the great crossover fights, because Boots is the changing of the guard guy, and Crawford's the guy that's been there and done it all and just proved, that he's still very much.
Eddie Hearn has consistently backed Jaron Boots Ennis as one of boxing's future superstars, and after the dominant victory over Zayas, he believes that prediction is becoming reality. The electric atmosphere in Brooklyn, combined with Ennis's impressive performance, only reinforced Hearn's confidence that his fighter is quickly developing into one of the sport's biggest attractions. Having also worked alongside Terence Crawford in the past, Hearn knows exactly what it takes to promote a blockbuster event featuring a fighter of that caliber. That's why he has openly spoken about just how enormous a Crawford versus Ennis showdown could become if the right opportunity ever presented itself. But it's important to separate excitement from the actual facts. At this point, there have been no official discussions, no confirmed negotiations, and Crawford has repeatedly insisted that his retirement is final. Hearn's comments reflect the potential size of the matchup, not evidence that a deal is currently being pursued. Even so, the mere possibility continues to keep fans talking, and according to former world champion Shawn Porter, there's a very specific reason why this dream fight refuses to fade from the conversation.
Two alpha males in the ring that are true alpha males, you know what I mean? I was an alpha male until I got in the ring with that dude.
It just,
and that dude was like, it was like, the more he wasn't allowing me to do what he wasn't, and it was.
Shawn Porter knows exactly what Terence Crawford brings to the table because he's experienced it firsthand inside the ring. Having faced Crawford himself, Porter understands better than almost anyone how difficult it is to deal with his timing, adaptability, and elite boxing IQ. When asked about a potential showdown between Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis, Porter admitted that picking a winner isn't easy, but he believes it's the type of fight every boxing fan would gladly pay to watch. He described both men as true competitors who thrive under pressure and refuse to back down from a challenge. Looking back on his own fight with Crawford, Porter explained that every adjustment he tried to make was quickly neutralized, which is why he continues to rank Crawford among the very best he's ever faced. That first-hand experience is a major reason Porter still speaks so highly of Crawford's abilities. At the same time, Ennis represents the next generation of elite talent, young, explosive, powerful, and already building an impressive championship resume. That contrast between proven greatness and rising dominance is exactly why this dream matchup refuses to disappear from boxing conversations. Would Crawford's unmatched experience, ring IQ and counterpunching be enough to overcome Ennis's speed, athleticism, and youth? Or would Ennis prove that a new era has officially arrived? For now, nobody truly knows, because Crawford has repeatedly insisted that his retirement is permanent. Even so, the mystery surrounding that possibility keeps fans talking every single time either fighter makes headlines. Ennis entered Barclays Center with one mission: defeat Zayas and leave with another world title. By the end of the night, he had done far more than that by reigniting one of boxing's biggest what-if debates. His dominant performance, highlighted by 3 knockdowns and a 7th-round stoppage, crowned him as the unified 154-pound champion and strengthened his position among boxing's elite. Then, Crawford's cryptic social media post added an entirely new layer to the story that nobody expected. He later praised Ennis's incredible talent while confidently stating that his experience, ring intelligence, and world-class counterpunching would still give him the edge in a head-to-head matchup. At the same time, Crawford has remained firm that he's happily retired, while Ennis continues focusing on unifying the division against the best active champions available. So for now, Crawford versus Ennis remains one of boxing's greatest hypothetical matchups rather than an officially scheduled fight. And in a sport where unexpected twists happen all the time, you can never say never. If Terence Crawford ever decided to return for one final fight, would Jaron Boots Ennis be the one capable of bringing him back? Or will this forever remain one of boxing's greatest unanswered questions? Let me know what you think in the comments below, because this debate is far from over.